I know I need a haircut. Quarantine hair, dude. I'm getting tired of it myself, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, fragrance video. I haven't done a fragrance video in a while, so let's do. I did a small, big, sort of big, kind of small fragrance sample haul. So not totally a full review, but I'll get some first impressions on some stuff that I finally got around to smelling. So the first stuff, finally got around to smelling that Goldfield and Banks Pacific Rock Moss. It's been getting a lot of hype in the community for a while now, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you what, dude. I actually thought it smelled pretty good. I actually think it smells pretty good. Not normally the kind of thing. I'm not super horny about these kind of scents. You know, I'm more like, vanilla scents, sweet scents, tobacco scents, whatever. I actually think this smells pretty good. I was kind of, the performance wasn't crazy, and I know it is a lot of money for what it is, but how a lot of these niche fragrances are a lot of money for what they are, right? But I thought it smelled good. I was kind of worried that it might have like a driftwood kind of smell, kind of thing. If you've ever smelled fragrances that use, driftwood, that kind of smell, but it didn't. I think it smells good. I would wear that. Next one, I found that I smelled their more recent Bohemian Lime. I've seen some people compare this actually to, this is their Aventus. I don't think it's an Aventus clone, but the first time I smelled it, I actually could smell a little bit of Aventus, I'll be honest with you. And it smelled it a little bit slightly dated. The first time I smelled it, I did think it smelled a little bit older, but I tried it again, and I was getting the other facets of the fragrance. The finger lime, whatever, was stronger. The sandalwood and the sweetness, that sandalwood with the sweet sandalwood creamy, whatever, finger lime, etc. The mix was working for me. The first time the mix wasn't working for me, but the second time I tried it, I was like, okay, you know what? I might wear this. So get an asterisk mark for that one. Got around to smelling some of xerjoff's coffee break fragrances. I'll say right now, I do agree they don't smell like coffee. I do think that's a misleading term. So Golden Dala xerjoff. Not a super big fan of the opening. The opening's a little rough, you know what I mean? But the dry down, really sweet, really nice. I like the dry down of that. Smelled the Golden Mocha. Again, don't expect coffee. No mocha cappuccino. Don't expect that kind of smell. But, I think it smells good, and I like the dry down as well. So those are getting an okay for me. Got around to smelling a couple of other of the Les Maison de Vanille, whatever it's called. And just before I get into this, I've never smelled, apparently they have a tobacco fragrance. It's not easily available though in America. So if you've ever smelled it though, let me know what it smells like, because it's a lot of money to sample. But so I've smelled the Vanilla Sauvage, I think it is. And I think that one smells good. I got around to recently smelling this one, was Absolute D Vanille, whatever. It is kind of dry for me, the opening's a little bit dry. Not like the sweet kind of resonance that I prefer, but once it dries down, nice vanilla scent. And I smelled the vanille, what is it? Vanilla, it was Fleur de Tahiti. What is this one? What's this other one? What's this one? Fleury de Tahiti? Man, dude, I don't know. I can barely speak English, dude, but I do think this one smells slightly feminine, but not too feminine that I wouldn't wear it. I think it smells good. Another nice vanilla scent. Another one that I recently smelled it's gotten a little bit of talk in the community, was the Tio Cabanel, Cafe Cabanel. What do I think this one smells like? I'm always looking for that holy grail coffee fragrance. I actually think this one smells kind of like a mix between Lidge, if you ever smelled Leon Saint Der Galant Extreme, whatever that fragrance is. Used to get a lot of hype in the fragrance community many, many years ago. Smells kind of like a mixture of Lidge mixed with by Killian's Intoxicated. I think this is more of a chocolate fragrance when I smell it than I think of what a coffee fragrance. But yeah, something like Lidge mixed with by Killian's Intoxicated. And I'm not a big fan of Lidge, but I can smell that kind of, the fragrance community. A lot of people tend to like that kind of like dusty, dry kind of chocolate, I feel like. I can kind of smell that in here. Kind of has that kind of cocoa smell that Roja Dove's amber extract. I forget, one of Roja Dove's fragrance, there's an amber extract, amber whatever. It's got that kind of dry, dusty, Lidge kind of smell that I wouldn't be surprised if fragrance people like this. But for someone that doesn't like Lidge though, this is much more chocolatey. and it's a little bit more delicious. So this one's okay to me. I would wear this one as it is, but it's not, in terms of being an amazing coffee fragrance, I would think of this as a chocolate fragrance personally. But it smells fine. What else have I gotten around to smelling recently? I got around to smelling the Ulterior Cologne's Tabac Nuit. Now, when I read reviews about this and when I heard people talking about this, I was expecting something a little bit more skanky, stinky, because I think it has cumin or caraway, whatever that spice is, you know what I mean? I was expecting, some people think that smells like sweat. I was expecting something a little bit more potentially off-putting and stanky. And when I wore this, I was like, damn, I must be in fragrances for too long. I can't see. I'd be very surprised if someone was off-put by this. I think they just don't like fragrances, period, generally speaking. If someone didn't like this, I think this is for the person that because doesn't like fragrances in general. I don't think this is just off-putting, period, to like a normal person. I would wear this. I could smell, I think it has clementine, it wasn't it? You know, I could smell that orange kind of, you know, an orange tobacco kind of like, or a clementine tobacco, I guess it was. But this smells good. This was not, I was expecting something more rough, potentially harsh from reviews. This is totally wearable. I would totally rock this, dude. I think that smells fun. Which I would expect. It's actually, if anything, knowing the brand of the house, that is something I would expect, you know. But the reviews, I was thinking, man, this might be kind of niche out there. But I was like, oh no, I could totally see this as their tobacco fragrance. I'm not surprised whatsoever, right? Another one that I got around to smelling, I finally got around to smelling that Ajmal Amber Wood. This has gotten a small amount of hype in the fragrance community. I don't know if it's because the brand has been sending it to people to do free reviews or something like that. That's kind of the vibe I was getting. People were getting free bottles of it. That's why I was getting a little bit of hype. I smelled this. Some people are saying this smells like pure malt. But you know what I would say like this smells like? First of all, the opening is kind of... opening is a little bit out there. The opening's a little bit out there, dude. Opening's a little bit out there. But once it starts to dry down, and you can smell some, and you can smell some of this, what I'm about to say in the opening too, but the opening's a little, you know, I'm not going to do a full review, but first impressions, the opening is a little bit out there, but after it starts to dry down, comes out more, is actually not pure malt, but if you've ever smelled, unless it's been formulated or something, Axe Dark Temptation body wash. And I even get the same color. I get this kind of like golden color image in my head. So Axe Dark Temptation body wash smells a little bit different than Axe Dark Temptation. Because I remember I've tried it many, many years ago. And excuse me, from a certain perspective, I can see the pure malt and dark Axe, the body wash actually. And this is what I can smell. I can smell that same sort of association of Axe Dark Temptation body wash in terms of that smelling similar to pure malt. That's the same way this smells similar to pure malt. So it's not, you know, so again, not exactly smelling like pure malt, but it smells like, it's like that different level of variance, I guess. But the dry down is fine, you know what I mean? But the opening is a little weird. I can see why this is a, you know, for better or worse, Middle Eastern fragrance or whatever. What else do they have? I finally got around to smelling that Tiziana Terenzi? Tiziana Terenzi, right? The Al Contrario, whatever it is, right, dude? So, of course, I love sweet fragrances, you know, gourmand fragrances, whatever. I've always put off smelling this just because it's so inhibitively, what is that English term? It's like, it's cost prohibitive to like sample this fragrance because it's just a lot of money to sample it, right? But I finally said, you know, whatever, dude. Live once. We're all in quarantine. I'm gonna say, you know, I've heard a lot of people say this is one of their holy grail gourmand fragrances. Totally amazing, whatever. I actually think, you know, it's like super chocolate, Nutella, whatever. I don't know if this has been reformulated. I've heard some of their other fragrances have been reformulated. I don't know if this is one of them. I was deceptively impressed with this. I did not think of this as a gourmand fragrance per se. I mean, it has a lot of sweet facets and everything like that, but This was more, and I got to think of something interesting when I do my review. It's almost like you're very cozy and not exactly firewood, but imagine you're not going to start a fire, but you have this kind of ebony wood, whatever, right? And you put it down in the fireplace to eventually do this, right? And then to try to light the fire because there's some like sweet, creamy chocolate and like, you know, a little bit of hazelnut, you know, you try to light the fire for some reason with a very fresh sugar. Because this is more sugary and it's a fresh sugar. It's like, this is deceptive. It's got that kind of sweet, woody freshness actually to it. Not like cedar or anything like that. You know, it's like the ebony wood. But imagine for some, I just get that vibe of it's not warm enough that you've actually lit in the fire. It's not charred or anything. But it's like, sprinkle sugar on because you tried to ignite this sweet ebony wood with sugar. With some kind of freshness. And as that sugar sort of rots the wood away. I can't think. I don't want to say melt because it's not melty sweet. So I guess we're going to say rot, even though that's not a very positive association using that word. And then you get some of that creamy, you know, vanilla, chocolate in the background. I don't know. I was deceptively impressed with that fragrance. I don't think that is a super huge gourmandy thing, but I can smell it in the background. Anyway, I thought it smelled good, though. But I do agree, it is light. It is light for what it is. And finally, let's do all these kyse fragrances that I finally got around to smelling. I do like Oi Plus, Wee Plus, Oi Plus, whatever. That's the marshmallow one. The s'more one, that smells a lot like if you've ever smelled kind of like a fake s'more. You know what I mean? Like a s'more topping, not like a real s'more. So what do I think of Fume de Vanille? Like, okay, so how about this? A lot of kyse, is that how you say it? I know her name is Terry. I don't know exactly how much that. Kyse. They do, a lot of them do have a sort of candle smell. I do agree with that. A lot of them do have kind of like a candle smell. But I'm not totally against that because, say, some people say tobacco vanille smells like a candle. Doesn't bother me. It's one of my favorite fragrances of all time. So, a lot of these do have a candle kind of smell to them. I will agree with that. So the Fume de Vanille, or Fume de Vanille, I think that was the one. I probably should have written this down. It's been a while, right? This was an interesting one. I think this one had a little bit of coffee in it too. I should have written it down. I got so many fragrances here. Kind of interesting. Might wear it. The the thing is already written out. She had this, it was like the vanilla extract one. Or with this oh crap, it's a first impression. I've already wiped off the name, unfortunately. You know, the long story short is all of them smell pretty good. And none of her fragrances are, like, cost prohibitive, right? They're all very accessible, right? So the vanilla one smelled good. I think the vanilla one, I got to wear this vanilla one next to me. I got to try, it's the one Mason Francis Kirkjohn. He makes that one Tihota vanilla fragrance. For some reason, I think I was kind of smelling that kind of vanilla in it, the Tihota. Do you know what I'm talking about, that fragrance? What was this one? Delicia de Marshmallow. Smelled good. I like marshmallows. You know, you're going to be like, dude, Clay, you want to smell like a marshmallow? Sure. It doesn't bother me. It smells good. Thought it smelled good. J is kind of the novelty kind of fragrance. It was all right. There's just so many other novelty fragrances, for lack of a better word, you know, that make you think of something that I'd probably wear. But I mean, I would wear it, but again, all the fragrances smell pretty good, right? And, you know, as usual, I say they're very, very accessible too. So I definitely recommend trying them out. What else did we have here? We had the Praline de Caramel. Smelled good. The Miele one, okay, I will say that was the one I didn't like. I was not a fan of the honey in this one. This one reminds me of going to your grandma's house. Maybe she's baking something with honey, and maybe you go into her bathroom and she's sprayed some kind of honey air freshener in the bathroom. Some kind of weird potpourri. This one smells very old to me. I was not a fan of the honey one personally. The Vanille de Bosch, whatever. I've smelled that one before. I still think it smells good. If I had more money, and again, these aren't cost prohibitive at all. It's just that I just have so many fragrances already. I would get that. I think that smells good. The coconut, considering I don't care about coconut, I thought the coconut one smelled good. The cocoa vanilla, whatever it was, dude. The vanilla de cedar. All right. And what else did we have? We had the Bois de Santal tree. That one is a very that was an interesting one. I gotta wear this one again. I have to wear this one next time, and I have to wear Slumber House's Or while I wear it. Because I gotta wear Slumber House's Or next time while I wear this, because I was kind of getting a vibe like that. Not as harsh, but you know, it was the kind of earthy, kind of, you know, I could smell the sandalwood, kind of that earthy, kind of chocolate kind of smell. I have to wear Slumber House's Or again next time I wear that with each other, because for some reason I was getting a vibe like that. Anyway, as usual though, you know, I thought that would smell good. I was hoping for a little bit stronger sandalwood maybe, but you know, it was good. I you know, it kind of kicks or checks off some of those marks of being a little bit of a interesting while still being a chocolate scent, I think. Anyway, again, I recommend checking her stuff out. She's got a lot of good sweet stuff. I've smelled them before. I agree they do smell very candleish, but that personally does not particularly bother me, you know. Anyway, keeping my channel active fragrance wise, then I'll try to do some real reviews on these later once I get a little bit more wearing of them.